Hi, I'm Mr. Horvath. I'm the Instructional Facilitator for Technology, or IFT, here at John Champe High School. And if you're watching this video, that means you're a new student here at John Champe. So welcome. Today, I want to get you started with the educational technology. And the first thing you're going to need is your student Chromebook. And it looks like this. It is a Lenovo Chromebook. Now, normally you would just get a pass to the library and we would get you all set up with your technology down the library. But while we're in distance learning, you're going to need to make an appointment at one of the LCPS repair centers in order to pick up your Chromebook. The link is in the description below this video. Do not come to John Champe. We don't have the Chromebooks at John Champe. The nearest repair center to John Champe is Freedom High School. So make an appointment there and go there to pick up your Chromebook. When you pick up your Chromebook, you're also going to get a charging cable. So use the charging cable every night, or at least every school night, to charge your Chromebook so that it's ready to go for the whole day, the next school day. If you lose your charging cable, it does cost about $20 to get it replaced. However, if it just stops working, you can always bring it into a repair center and exchange it for a new one at no charge. Speaking of things not working, we want you to take good care of your Chromebooks, but look, we understand accidents happen. If you accidentally drop your Chromebook and the screen cracks, don't suffer with a cracked screen. Make an appointment at the repair center and bring it in so that we can get it repaired. You're not going to get in trouble. We're not going to charge your family as long as it's accidental. It's covered. So don't suffer with a broken Chromebook. Make the appointment, bring it in to get it repaired. We are a BYOT school district, which means bring your own technology. So if you want to use your own laptop or other device to complete your assignments, you can. There's a couple things, though, that you need to know. First of all, we don't provide tech support for your device. So it's up to you to make it work. Most things do work on your own computer. In fact, I'm making my video on my own personal computer right now. So it actually does work. It's just that we don't provide any tech support if things don't work on your computer. Second, you're still going to need your Chromebook. There's certain things that just have to be done on the Chromebook. For example, SOL testing or other standardized tests may need to be taken on the Chromebook. So do make the appointment to pick up your Chromebook, even if you intend on using your own computer most of the time. If you are going to use your own computer most of the time, make sure that you log into your Chromebook, at least a few school days in advance of when you're going to need it so that the Chromebook can update. And if something's not working, there's some time to get it fixed before you need it. So if you know you're taking an SOL test on Thursday, log into your Chromebook Monday morning so that it can update and you can make sure that everything's running on it correctly. And if it's not, let us know right away. I'll talk a little bit more about how to get tech support toward the end of the video. So I'm going to let you look over my shoulder as I start up a Chromebook and log into it. So usually when you open the lid, the Chromebook is going to turn on and it takes a few seconds for it to do that. And it's going to, first of all, start looking for a Wi-Fi network to connect to. If you're at school, it will just automatically connect at school. But if you're at home, the first time that you do this, you're going to have to select your Wi-Fi network and put in your Wi-Fi password. Okay, so once you get hooked up to Wi-Fi, you're going to be at the sign-in screen. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more on that. There we go. And your username is going to be your student ID number. Now I'm using a student test account, so I'm going to put in the login for the student test account, but you should be able to find your student ID number. If you got the printout of your schedule, it should be at the top of your schedule. And we're going to go ahead and log in with that username. It takes a few seconds. Your beginning password is going to be your 6-digit birthday. So for example, let's pretend you were born on February 17th, of 2005, you're going to put in 021705. Again, I'm using the student test account, so I'm going to put in something else. Now, admittedly, I don't log in as a student for the first time all the time, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to ask you to change your password right away, or if it's just going to log you in, and then we're going to need to go into LCPS GO to get your password changed. But you log in as a student, it should open LCPS GO, which is sort of your launch pad for most things, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. And then another tab for you to log into Schoology. And Schoology uses your Google login. So it should automatically have your Google login already. You just need to click there to log into Schoology. And we'll talk about that briefly after LCPS GO. If you're having problems with your password, check out the last segment of the video, which talks about tech support. Let's talk briefly about LCPS GO. As I mentioned before, LCPS GO is your launch pad for pretty much everything LCPS related. If you're logging in on a student Chromebook, you should have a tab that automatically opens with the login screen. If you're using your own device, the URL is going to be go.lcps.org. And your username is going to be your student ID number. Now, I'm using a fake student account, so it has a different username. And then your password is whatever your current password is for school. If you haven't already changed your password from your 6-digit birthday, it should at this point prompt you to change your password. Your password needs to have the following characteristics. It needs to have at least 8 characters. It can have more, but at least 8 characters. And you need to have at least 3 of the 4 following things: an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol. So when you set your password, that's what it's going to be. If you ever need to change your password, maybe you think your password is insecure, you go up here to the upper right where your avatar would be, and you go into your settings. And then in the recovery tab, which is probably not where most people would look for it, you can click the reset password button, put in your old password, put in the new password that you want, and that will reset it across all LCPS services. Notice that you can also set up password recovery using a mobile phone, your email, or security questions. So if you forget your password and need to recover it, you have some options for doing that there. I just want to point out a couple of things on the LCPS GO screen, and then I'll let you explore the rest on your own. First of all, if you want to know your grade, your official grade at any particular point in time, you're looking for the student view icon. Now, the display on my computer is pretty big, so I can see all the icons pretty easily. But I know on smaller screens, especially the school Chromebooks, it can be hard to find the icons. So if that's the case, I use the search field. And in this case, if you search student, it narrows it down to things that just have the word student in the title. And then you can actually click right here in the search list. You don't have to find the icon outside on the screen somewhere. So that's pretty convenient. Again, that's your official grade in the course. You also have access to email through Gmail. And your email address is actually pretty easy. It's just your student ID number at lcps.org. Now, I will remind you, you should use your school email for school business and have a separate personal email if you need the email for just other stuff that you're doing. That's a good idea whether you're a student or whether you're get an email address at work. It's just good practice to keep your work self separate from your personal self. So with that, let's click the Schoology icon and talk a little bit about Schoology. After you click the Schoology icon in LCPS Go, it should automatically log you in. If you're on a school Chromebook, the login to Schoology is also in that second tab that opened. Either way, if for some reason it doesn't log you in automatically, it's just your school Google login. And your school Google login is your email address, your student ID at lcps.org, and the same password that you've been using for LCPS Go or to log into your Chromebook. It's all the same password. When you start off in Schoology at the home screen, it is set up so that you can see recent activity in any courses or groups that you might be in. So I'm in this Schoology Teacher Tips group, so I'm getting some messages that were sent in that group. Over here on the right, you've got some reminders about things that maybe are overdue or need to be done. You've got some upcoming things that you might have in your calendar. These would be assignments that might be due, or maybe you're part of a group for a student club that sponsor puts stuff on the calendar. That may show up here as well. Across the top, courses is where all of your courses are located. Now I'm logged in as me, so I've got all kinds of weird stuff on here. But you should have a different card here for each class period. And if for some reason you've got more than 12 courses, and it's possible because sometimes there's courses that are created for training and things like that, you can always go here to the My Courses link toward the upper right corner. And that will show you a list of all the courses that you're active in. And if you click this Reorder Courses, you can actually click and drag the courses around so that you can have them in the order that you prefer them to be in. If you have more than 12, any courses that you put below this line will not show up as a card when you click the Courses tab. So that's a good way to hide some courses that maybe you're still active, but you don't go to all the time. If you ever need to join a course, you would go into the Join a Course button and put in the code that the teacher gives you in order to join the course. The Groups tab is usually used for student activities, things where you're not really getting a grade or turning stuff in, or groups. So you can see I sponsor the Model Rocketry Club, so I have a group for the Model Rocketry Club. And just like with the courses, there's a card for the first 12 groups that you're in. But if you click the My Groups link toward the upper right, you can see a list of all the groups that you're in if there's more than 12. And just like with the courses, you can click the Reorder Groups button to move them around. And if you need to join a group, you can click the Join Group button and put in the access code. Students usually don't use the Resources tab, but you could upload stuff into Schoology to use later on if you ever wanted it to. And you don't have a Tools tab because that's just something I have. Over here on the right top, you've got a Schoology calendar. If you click the calendar, you'll see if any activities are scheduled for groups, they'll show up here. Also, any upcoming assignments that have a due date with them will show up when they are due. There is a couple notification systems. One of these is a messaging system. So if I click that envelope, I can see Kevin has sent me a message. He replied to a test message that I sent to him. So that is one way of communicating. Though, honestly, teachers really respond more to email. So if you really want to get the teacher's attention, you need to send them an email in the Gmail account. And the bell is the notifications. So you can see here, I have one unread notification. The John Champe Library put a Discover Library item into that little course that they have going. The librarians have a real fun time doing stuff for the students in the school. They're always running some sort of promoting reading. And they've got some great prizes and some fun things to do. So if you aren't part of the John Champe Library course, I do suggest that you give it a try. Over here is your name where you can set your profile. You can put a picture of yourself in there, some information if you want. If you go to your settings, in the notifications tab, you can decide whether or not you want emails for different things that happen in your courses. So you can turn things off and on. You can kind of customize things so that you're not overwhelmed with a lot of email. If you want to, you can click this link right here and it will send you text notifications to your phone. And once you do that, you'll have another column on the right where you can control how many notifications you get and when you get them. So that's probably important so you don't get overloaded with notifications as well. Okay, so that is just a very quick overview of Schoology and what you can find in there. This is basically your day-to-day, where you go for everything that you need in your courses. So what happens if you need some tech support, if things just aren't going right for you? Well, LCPS offers two different types of tech support. And the first one is if you pretty much know what you're doing, but you're sure that it's not working right, or you know your password, but you can't seem to get things to log in, or maybe you've just simply forgotten your password altogether. This tech support is where you call the tech support center at the number on your screen, and I'll also list that below in the description. They're open during the week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to help you. I recommend calling them first unless you're absolutely sure you need a physical repair of your Chromebook. Like if your screen's cracked, for example, you know you're going to need to take your Chromebook in for repair. So in that case, you can go ahead and schedule a repair appointment at the link in the description. So those are the people that help you fix things when they're really broken. Now, the other types of tech support is what I'm doing right now. I help people figure out how to do things with the technology and what the best way to do things is. Now, I work mainly with the teachers. I would suggest that you first start with your teacher, especially if you're doing something for class, because there's only one of me and there's around 1,900 of you all. So I'm pretty scarce. So I will answer your email, however, if you email me at the email address on the screen. So feel free to contact me. And if you aren't sure which tech support you need, you can always ask me. If I'm not the right person, I'll tell you what you need to do in order to get the help that you need. So please reach out to me if you need something. And this YouTube channel, I'm posting more videos on here since we started distance learning. This actually is one of my longest videos. Most of mine aren't quite this long, so feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post stuff both for students and for staff. So if you want the latest tech news, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you hopefully in person at school in not too long.